Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. Welcome to another video. This one is very different than my norm. I am doing a weekend unplanned prep video. So if you're new here, welcome. My name is Kristi. So here is a piece of the video that I shared last week. This was my meal plan and grocery haul video. Normally on the weekends, on Sundays, I do a big meal prep for my husband and I, but I mentioned last week in my meal plan and grocery haul video that we were probably going to have our grandchildren this weekend. So I was sharing right here this video, and this is what I was planning on doing for my meal plan for the week. And then I mentioned in this that I would try to film it if I could, just to kind of show you what I do when my weekends are busy and I don't really have time for a great big meal prep. So even though I didn't end up doing my big meal prep on Sunday, I kind of split everything up into Saturday and Sunday. So I thought that I would just piece everything together and show you how the whole weekend went. I'm going to show you a little bit of the grandkids in there as well. But first, I want to start out with our Friday night. And I want to share with you a picture of our daughter, Kaitlyn. A lot of you have asked about her and asked how she's doing. If you've seen my social media, you may already know what I'm about to share here. So it is Friday night, and my husband and I drove out to St. Pete, where our daughter lives and goes to school. She goes to college at St. Pete College. It's about an hour drive for us. And this is why she was being inducted into Phi Theta Kappa Honor Society. A lot of you know her story. And for those who don't, our daughter struggled with drug addiction from when she was probably about 17 until about 22. She's 25 now. She's been clean now for 3 years, clean from all drugs and alcohol. And she has a 4.0 GPA in college. She's studying to be a substance abuse counselor, and we could not be more proud. So that final picture there is just a picture with me, my husband, and our daughter, Kaitlyn. So just a very proud and very emotional night that we had this night. Okay, so now it's Saturday. I actually did a grocery haul from Aldi, and I've already put that video up, but that is up. I'll link it down below though in case you haven't seen it. So now I'm getting ready to just put all my fruit together for the weekend, for the week, and I'm using my little containers that you all probably sick of hearing me talk about. I absolutely love these though. They have this little insert here you can put in the middle if you want to put two different things, one on one side, one on the other. There's 3 different sizes. These are the 2 smaller ones, and then there's a big one as well. So they have these the tops that close, they have these little air vents, I guess you could call them. You put them in closed for vegetables and open for fruit. And then you can just put the containers right in your fridge, just up on the shelf. You don't necessarily have to put them down in the crisper drawer. You can actually use these for little strainers if you want to wash them. It's got, the 2 inserts. But for me, since I'm doing a whole bunch, I'm actually going to be using my OXO salad spinner. So I like to use that just because I use so much at a time. So I take some vinegar, about 1 part vinegar to 4 parts water. I just fill that. And then I just wash all my fruit in that, take my grapes off of the vine. I just let that sit in there and soak for a little bit, and then just rinse it real well. And then over on my counter, I have some paper towels that I set down. And after I'm done rinsing the fruit real well and kind of letting it sit there and drain for a little bit, then I just spread it out onto a paper towel and just take the paper towel and dab it dry, and then put everything into whatever containers that I'm going to be using. And those, my friends, are Florida strawberries. Florida strawberries right now are so delicious. So now what I'm going to do, as you saw in the beginning, I had quite a bit of fruit. So I really like to put together a fruit salad with strawberries or maybe like blackberries, kind of like the more delicate fruit. I like to put those in separate containers rather than put it in, a big container in a big mixed fruit salad. So I'm just cutting off the tips to the strawberries and putting these in the small container. I can't fit the top on it and put it in my fridge, but it won't take long before I can fit the top on, that's for sure. So now I'm just going to use the bottom of my OXO salad spinner just to put all the fruit in and kind of mix it together. So I have my grapes in there. Now I'm going to take my cantaloupe and cut this up. I just cut it in half, take all the seeds out, and then kind of just cut it into chunks like this. I do pretty much my melon and my watermelon the same way. Once in a while, I'll use one of those little melon ballers and kind of go through and cut them into the little balls. But this way is just much quicker and much easier. So my cantaloupe's getting cut, and then now I'm going to do the watermelon. I'm only going to do a half a watermelon because sometimes when you do watermelon, it really turns into a lot of water. So I'm just going to do half of it, and then I'll save the other half of the watermelon here to just put in my fridge, and we can kind of have it like with dinner or something. Next, I'm going to cut my pineapple. To cut my pineapple, I just cut the ends off. This one was not quite as ripe as I like. My daughter went with me to the store and she grabbed the pineapple and I didn't even look to see how it looked. But I just cut the ends off. I cut it down the middle and then you can kind of see where the core is. So I kind of cut it into a diagonal. So just cut it into a diagonal, take that core out, then cut that in half. And then you can kind of cut down to the bottom. And see, I'm not going all the way through. Cut it in the middle and then just cut little pieces. And then I can kind of take it just like that. And then it pretty much kind of just slides off the skin. And yep, that's me putting some in my mouth and taste testing those. So I'm going to do the same thing. This one kind of cut through all the way. I didn't mean to cut it through, but just take it like that. And then the whole thing could just slide right off of there into the bowl. So that's all I'm putting in the bowl. So now I'm just going to mix that all together. And that is just a gorgeous fruit salad. I absolutely love the colors of fruit salad. And that will stay in my fridge and I'll just munch on it throughout the week. So now I've transferred that into my large vegetable fruit container. I actually had my greens in this large one, but I'm going to transfer them over to the medium size one because I have so much fruit. So I'm just putting as much fruit as I can without squishing it down with the top. So that's why I keep taking it off and putting more in. And then whatever is left for the fruit in the bowl, that'll get eaten today. So again, the air vents for fruit go on in the open slot. And then, like I said, I'll have that eaten in about 5 minutes. So then I have my strawberries, and then I'm just going to take the medium-sized one, and then my greens that I had in the large one, I'm just going to transfer those over. I've mentioned before, greens in these stay very long. I've had spinach in these that have stayed like up to 3 weeks in my fridge. And now with this one, the air vents will go in the closed position. And then, like I said, the top to the strawberries I can't fit right now, so I'll put that on there once we can fit it on there. So now I'm going to do my vegetables. I'm just going to do some celery and carrots. I'm going to get those washed. Again, I'm going to use my OXO salad spinner to wash these. So I'm going to just put some vinegar water in there and wash the celery. The carrots I'm going to be peeling so I don't have to wash those. So I'm just going to cut the ends off and then peel them. And all these scraps I'm going to be saving. I put my scraps in a bag, and that way when I do my bone broth, then I can just use the scraps. So now what I'm doing is just taking some mason jars. These carrots, this one I'm cutting into kind of like for carrot fries. I like to do carrot fries in my air fryer or in the oven. Usually I'll mix it with some potato fries too, but then it's kind of half and half. So this way, whenever I want carrot fries throughout the week for dinner, they're already ready to go. I'm going to put as many as I can in there, and then I'm going to fill it with some water pretty close to the top. It's not going to be quite all the way up, but just don't want it spilling out. And then that'll just sit in my fridge. And then the rest of them, I'll cut them up into just chunks that I can use for snacking. Those will go in a mason jar. I'll put some water in that and just put it in my fridge. And the same with the celery. I put them in a cup or a glass. I'm going to cut the tops off so that it's not standing out so high. And then add some water. Those will sit in my fridge just the way they are. And that way I don't put tops on them or anything, because throughout the week I'm going to be opening my fridge, and that's pretty much what I snack on is the celery and the carrots. So here I'm just putting everything in my fridge. Like I said, you can put those containers right in the fridge on the shelf. The celery and carrots just go there, and I'm not going to cover those or anything. And then, like I said, the lid to my strawberries, it's only going to take maybe till the end of the night or tomorrow before the strawberries are low enough that I can put that lid on there. And then I also have cut up the ends off my asparagus, and I just have those in a glass with some water that helps them to stay fresh. So now I'm going to just portion out some cashews. These are 6 points or 190 calories for a quarter of a cup. So I just take these little containers that I get from the Dollar Tree and just portion out each one. I put quite a few of them in my cabinet. I just fill as many as I can, put them in my pantry, and then that way, instead of opening the container and snacking on cashews and ending up eating way too many because I love cashews, I can just take one out. I know exactly how much is in there. So these just make a really quick grab and go snack. All right, the next thing that I want to do is just take my butternut squash that I bought, and I want to just cut this into little, I do kind of like 8-ounce packages, I guess, and then I just pop them in a bag in my freezer, and then that way, whenever I want to have some butternut squash, like roasted with my vegetables, then I just pull one of the bags out of the freezer. So I just cut up my butternut squash and then just cut it into little kind of diced size pieces. And then normally I take my bag sealer and vacuum seal each bag, but I have to be on the hunt for a new bag sealer because mine is pretty much on its last leg. So for today, I'm just taking some sandwich bags and putting, like I said, it comes out to about 8 ounces in each package. So I end up doing 3 packages. I think it was 3 or 4 packages that I put in my freezer. The bottom part, I just kind of cut around the seeds and then just get as much as I can from that. And then this is all I'm going to be doing for today because we are going to be having our grandchildren, both of them, for an overnight. So that's why I mentioned in my meal plan video in my grocery haul that I didn't know if I was going to be doing a meal prep. So look at this adorable picture. We got a swing. My grandson has a swing set in our house, and we finally got a little swing for Lyla so she can sit there and swing with her brother. And this was her first time. And as you can see, she was so happy to be able to swing with him. So this is like my husband and my joy. Like we just absolutely love having our grandchildren over. So this was actually the first time we had both of them together, spending the night. Logan usually spends the night with us probably every other weekend, but this was our first time having Logan and Lyla, and we just absolutely loved it. And then there's proud Papa with Lyla. All right, so now it's Sunday and it's about 4 o'clock, I think it was, when the kids left. So I do want to put together a little bit of a meal prep. I have a few things that I had in my fridge that were kind of like leftovers, like they're in that container with some vegetables. And then I have just some 90-second rice that I'm going to throw some things together. Here I have some bone broth. I do my own homemade bone broth. I mentioned that several times. I have a video out there too. I'll link that down below. And I use that to cook my chicken in my Instant Pot. So for the lunches, I'm going to do just really quick chicken in the Instant Pot with the rice and the vegetables. And then for my breakfast, these are what I'm going to be using. I was going to throw together some of my regular overnight oats, but I have some of these still. I get these at Publix. I'm not sure what other stores they sell them at, but Publix is a store I think mostly in the South. So these are purely Elizabeth, and I really like them. My husband does not like these. They're too much of an earthy. I say that with like quotes. They're too much of an earthy flavor for him. They are very, I guess you could say, nutritious flavored, but I like them. I really do like the taste of them. The blueberry walnut ones are my favorites. The point ranges from probably 4 to 7, depending on the kind that you have. And then my husband is going to have these. These are a little bit higher in calories. I don't even know what the points are on those. I didn't even scan them. But he's got these little sandwiches, 410 calories. And then for that breakfast bowl was 440 calories. I'm sure they're higher in points just because usually those type of things are higher in points. So here I've got my chicken broth, but I need it to be in liquid form to put it in my Instant Pot. So I'm going to just pop it in the microwave for a little bit. I'm going to use this salt-free. My stepfather gave me this. It's Flavor Mate seasoning. It's salt-free seasoning. So I'm just going to put that on my chicken. Frozen chicken breast right in the Instant Pot. You can use chicken breast tenderloin or regular chicken breast. I do have about a cup of water down in the bottom. And then to that, I'm also going to add the cup of my bone broth. And then I just kind of stir it together. And this is so easy. Just put it in there frozen like that. And then all we're going to do is cook it on high pressure for about 8 minutes and then let it naturally release for about 9 minutes and then do a quick release of whatever pressure is left in there. And there's my diverter, my little Nelson guy. So if your Instant Pot has to be set to sealing, go ahead and do that now. Mine automatically does. So like I said, we're going to do high pressure for 8 minutes and then a natural release for 9. So now I'm just getting all my meal prep containers together. I've got one of the salad ones because for one of my lunches, I'm going to be making a salad. So I'm kind of just finding what I can in my fridge and just kind of throwing some different things together. So these are the leftover roasted vegetables that I had. So I'm just splitting those into 2 meal prep containers. These are going to be for 2 lunches. And I'm going to use the rice and also the chicken for that. So for my rice, I'm going to use the 90-second quinoa and brown rice. And then for my husband's, I'm going to use just the regular chicken rice. And then I also had some chickpea pasta that I had in my fridge. So I'm going to use that for one of the days. I'm just going to add a little bit of pesto to that and just stir that up. And then I'll add some chicken and also some chickpeas. And I think I end up adding some Kalamata olives as well. So I went ahead and cooked the quinoa and brown rice. I didn't do it for the full 90 seconds though. I just did it for 60 since I will be reheating these throughout the week. And then for my husband's, he's going to have these Brussels sprouts with his. So now I'm going to put together my salad. So I'm going to use some of the mixed greens that I had in the container, but then I also have some romaine leaves that I'm going to mix with that. And then I'm going to add some chickpeas to that. And as you saw, I added to the pasta also. And for my dressing, I'm going to use the tzatziki sauce. This is the spinach and artichoke kind. I really like this. It's 2 points for 2 tablespoons. So I'm just going to fill this little container, which fills it to 2 tablespoons perfectly. And then as you can see, it has little separators on the top to put different things in. So now I've got some feta cheese here that I'm going to put an ounce of feta in there. I take it in the bag when I first get it and I cut it into 8 pieces since it's an 8-ounce package. That way I can very easily grab 1 ounce and put it in whatever I want. So now I'm just going to cut up the tomato and then peel and cut my cucumber, put those in the container as well. And then I'm going to add some Kalamata olives. If you've been watching me lately, you know that I have been really pretty much adding Kalamata olives and feta cheese to a lot of things. So it's just a kick I'm going through right now. So now I'm going to cut up my onion. I'm going to end up adding, you'll see here, I'm going to just add the onion down in with the lettuce because that doesn't usually make it real watery. And then that's it. I'm going to put my top on there and that salad is ready to go. The other vegetables, I'm going to actually set those aside because the vegetables and also the chicken, I'm going to be using for my dinner tonight. So I'll show you that coming up. So now to my husband's meal prep containers, I'm going to add the rice. Like I said, I'm just using the regular chicken ready rice for his. I also have an avocado that I just put with my salad. Sometimes I add it, sometimes I don't. It just depends on how I'm feeling that particular day. I also have some Baby Bell cheese and some hummus, so I can use these throughout the week for snacking on. Those Baby Bell cheese are really good. They're 3 points and I think 80 calories. So to my husband's Brussels sprouts, I just put that in the microwave. The Brussels sprouts are done and he wanted a piece of provolone cheese added with his. So I'm going to just break it up and then it kind of melts on there anyway, and then he can heat it throughout the week. I also have some mixed fruit that I've put together. I have it in these little containers and then also the glass container. I'll try to remember to link the glass dishes down below. Those green ones that I have, I actually get those from Grove. I get a lot of my cleaning supplies from Grove and I order those from there as well. So in these, I have some carrots, some celery, and 2 tablespoons of hummus that I measure out in those. So that's just a quick grab and go snack throughout the week. So now my chicken is done and I'm going to release the pressure. It's actually been sitting here naturally releasing for 9 minutes. So as you can see, the steam diverter just makes it go to the side rather than up under my cabinets. So then once the pressure is released, then just remove the lid, and that's what it looks like. This chicken cooks so good in the Instant Pot. So now what I'm going to do is just pan sear them a little bit. You don't have to do this if you're going to be shredding your chicken, and you don't even need to do this at all. I just have a little bit of olive oil. I just want to get a little bit of a sear to it. But again, it's totally a personal preference of yours. So now I'm just going to take the chicken and put it on the top of each of the meal prep containers. And I did decide to add some to the noodles as well, even though I do have some chickpeas in there. So this is my just last minute thrown together lunch prep for my husband and I for the week. So just goes to show you can kind of take some things, pull them from your fridge, and throw something together. So now what I'm going to do is throw together my dinner. Tonight I am making chicken gyros, so that way I can use some of the things that I used for the lunch and just kind of throw them together and make a chicken gyro. I've made these before in a what I eat in a day video. I have the recipe on my website. I just use a pita bread, some tzatziki sauce. I put some mixed greens on there, tomato, cucumber, Kalamata olives, some feta, and then I just take some of that chicken that I had cooked, cut that up, put that on there. But you can honestly do this so many different ways. So then I'm adding just a little bit more of that tzatziki sauce to the top. And that is what my dinner looks like. It's so good. It's so filling. It just has so much flavor in it. So like I said, I will link it down below, and on my website it will have all the calories and also a link for the WW points as well. So as of Friday, I did not plan on doing a meal prep because of the grandchildren being there. And then as you can see, this is pretty much a meal prep. One thing you'll notice that I didn't do is give the points and calories for a lot of the things. And that's because when I'm in a hurry, I just try to pick nutritious things that I know aren't going to be a lot of points and calories, and then I'll add them during the week. You don't have to spend hours and hours putting together meal prep. You can split it up in your days throughout the weekend, just throw some things together. It can be easy. It just really needs to be what works for you. You have to do what works for you. So I hope that you enjoyed this video. Like I said, a little bit different than normal. Make sure to give it a thumbs up if you liked it. And thank you all so much for watching. If you're new, I hope you'll subscribe, and I'll talk to you in my next one.